Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin.
It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
And what a fantastic performance from Gatlin. And look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We back for another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building. You know who my co-host is. The man with the beard himself, Rodney.
The man with the beard.
The bigger beard. The man with the bigger beard.
The man with the bigger
That's
beard.
how they recognize you, bro. You know they recognize you out on the street because of the beard, man.
This is true. The man with the bigger beard, Rodney Green, everybody.
Hey!
Clack, 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 clack.
What's going on, man? What's
man?
good?
Man, not much, man. I just want to say on this episode, I'm very grateful for all the love that we've received, man, especially when I'm by myself. You know, I go to these youth track meets and I'm noticed, and I'm very happy when fans come up and they say they enjoy the show. I'm free to give pictures and everything like that. Everybody who I take a picture with, I'm very grateful. Guys, we are at 8,400 subscribers, man. We're trying to get to 10K. When we get 10K, let's celebrate, man. So I just want to thank everybody. Justin and I definitely want to thank everybody in our community.
For sure, man. I think they're getting to know who you are, man, as a person. Because at first, the evolution of Rodney, I love that, was the fact of everybody was like, hey, who that dude is? That's what they used to say. Now they be like, oh, your mans. And now they be like, oh, yeah, Rodney. So now they know who you are, man. The world is recognizing. And I know you hate the F word, famous. So we're going to say that you are becoming very popular.
Yeah, popular is a better word. Famous, I don't want fame, man. I'm good with it.
Well, we'll cheers to that, man. I got my new drink, dog. So got some hen, dog.
Some hen?
Got some hen. I changed it up, man. I was going tequila for a while, you know what I mean? So I felt, let me put a little hen tonight. Let's see what's going on.
All right, boy. You about to have another child. But anyway. Moving on, man. We had a great weekend in track and field, man. A very good track weekend for track and field. We had regionals this weekend, NCAA regionals, East and West. You know what I mean? Had a few surprises. Going into the big show, man, of NCAA finals out there in Eugene, Oregon, where the magic happens.
What do you think about the conferences, man? I mean, we know that the young athletes always going to run faster times up to a certain point. How you think they're looking?
Man, they are looking really good, man. On the west side, on the east side, you know, we've had
you got Mackenzie Long, who out there dropping a double 1092 and 2210 to be able to come through with the big Q.
So she's been very consistent this year. You know what I mean? Dropping a lot of 22 lows. But now, you know, for a couple of weeks, Brianna Liston, you know, her and Jasia Shears, they were kind of going back and forth with this 100-meter thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So now Mackenzie Long has stepped up. She broke the facility record in Kentucky, and that's a PB for her, 1092. You know what I mean? Which is a very reputable time. You know what I mean? So, and you had another girl come up, the Jaws DeFran. I hope I said her name right. Is that DeFraud? DeFran. The Jaws DeFran.
From Florida State. Right.
Yeah,
sophomore
man.
From Florida
1094.
State. Yeah.
1094. She got second to Mackenzie Long in regionals. So we have the FSU girls stepping back up into the chat too, man. That was the two surprising, the Brianna Liston and the Thelma Davies and the Kayla Jacksons. They've been running fast.
Well, here's the interesting thing, because when you look at these times, they actually weren't even in the same heat. So
right.
They're actually waiting to see them two match up. It's going to be a good show. We haven't had an Ole Miss standout athlete in a very, very long time too, man. The last one I could think of was Isaiah Young.
Yeah, and that's a guy.
Yeah.
I can't I mean, somebody gonna correct us in the chat like they always do.
We
if there was a
appreciate y'all.
female-
You keep us true.
yeah, they gonna correct us in the chat. But yeah, man, sometimes we may mumble over words and stuff, but we appreciate the corrections. But to your point, yeah, I can't remember the last female. You know what I mean? She's definitely, if she's not made a case after she leaves and becomes pro and everything, she's definitely making a case for Ole Miss Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, running a time of 10.94 and her second, second competitor was Miss Jackson from Georgia, who dropped to 11.03. So that tells you the comparison of how it was from first to second throughout those rounds. So let's see what these ladies are going to do when they're going to be fired up, because, I'm all about, making sure the SEC's on top, because, I got to cheer for the SEC. So no matter who you are out there, SEC, y'all handle business. Y'all do your thing. On the guys' side.
Listen, you say SEC. First through seventh is SEC.
Like I said, we different, dog. We different. SEC is different,
dog. Is it? Listen, and the 200 too. First through fifth.
No.
Is the
Florida State's ACC.
Oh yeah. No, so as first, second, fourth, fifth.
Yeah.
And which Mackenzie Long's on the top of that list also.
Yeah.
At 22-10, and then Jamisha Ford from South Carolina. And then the Jazz, the Friend is third, Kayla Jackson, and then Denisha Page. Yeah, so yeah, the women's side is heating up. I can't wait to see Mackenzie Long and Brianna Lisden, Thelma Davies. Wait till that little group right there lock up. That's gonna be hot and heavy. So we might see 10-8 out there in Oregon.
So we're gonna go over here to the men's side. What about them Auburn boys, man? Them Auburn boys, they heating up now. They heating up.
Hey, that's what happens when you got a former world record holder, Olympian, multiple world record holder as a coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was doing good things when he was down there at U of H.
Yeah.
And he moved to if anybody don't know who we're talking about Leroy Burrell and his coaching staff. So it's not just Leroy Burrell, it's him and his coaching staff, obviously, who are making these things happen out there in Auburn, man. So they brought them back to sprint dominance. You know what I mean? So they're trying to show their hand out there, and favor Ashe and I'm gonna struggle with this young man's name. Kanye.
Don't even do
Sola?
it. Don't even do it. We're not gonna do that. Don't even do that.
Well, I tried.
Neither one of us will ever be substitute teachers, because our pronunciations are gonna be so bad. Dog. It's gonna be like Key and Peele. Remember that episode, Key and Peele? Hey, Ron. We're gonna miss everything up, bro.
Yes, but Favor Ashe, he commanded the race from start to finish. He jumped out, and then he was just on the gas. Like, it was just hard for anybody to really try to like roll him up or try to get him back. Man.
I am happy that Favor Ashe stuck to his guns, because I remember having a conversation with him when he was at Tennessee, and then the Tennessee team kind of where he was dismantled, and he had the option of jumping the portal and leaving. And he asked me, I said, stay. I said, Coach Ross is going to be there. He's going to be a great coach for you. And Coach Ross is a great coach. But this is a moment in time where athletes realize what's better for me. I don't want to settle for just good. I want to settle for where I'm going to be comfortable, what's going to be better for me. And he picked to go to Auburn. He picked to be over there with Leroy. So hats off to him. He's running great times this year. He looks great, man. Keep doing your thing. Favor, man. You made the right decision.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's definitely good, man. And the 200, like you just said, there's 3 heats. The heats were all and these names, boy. Check from Penn State. Traore. I hope I said that right.
You gotta get your syllable game up, boy.
I do. You know what it is? When I watch the meets, I watch them on silent.
Yeah.
Because I'm like watching technique. I don't really listen to the commentators or listen to the name. I watch them on silent, which is really weird. Everybody feel that's weird, but I watch them on silent. So I can't even hear when they actually call their names, in which I probably will have to change that to listen for the right pronunciation. But I can tell you, the guy that got second who won his heat, Wanye McCoy, is from the Bahamas. So I know his name. I know his name. He tried that 1995 on them boys, man. I'm proud of him. You know what I mean? And then we have Alabama State, Jamarian Stubbs. Man, this is going to be, we have 4 dudes that's sub 20.
Yeah, man.
Before NCs.
I'm telling you this right now. This is the year of the 200. This is the year of the 200 because it's showing on the professional side and it's showing on the collegiate side. You're not seeing any really like amazing times in 100 meters, professional level or collegiate level. But you're seeing a lot of really good 200 meter times that are consistently dropping. These kids are dropping well into the 200 meter 19-second range. And you're seeing that also at the elite level. So I'm already dubbing it as a 200 meter year because that's what it looks like it's going to come out to be.
Man, I definitely think so, man. What if back in your day, they split it up like this? Like, because there was no, like, the regions wasn't set up like East and West and all of that, man. It wasn't done like that. It was very, very, very different.
I don't know. I guess it would give us more competition. You know what I mean? Or one more good race to get into. I would have liked it. I was up for the competition, man. But at the same time, we were running 4 rounds of everything. You know what I mean? So that would have definitely been taxing, having a whole nother high level of competition towards the end of your season. And how many rounds they got to do. I mean, if we're doing 4 rounds back then, yeah, I don't think we would have made it through the season healthy. But we had to definitely minimize those rounds so it could be still more entertaining. Athletes can keep their body and legs fresh. But for me, bro, like, I would have welcomed the competition, but I'd have been taxing on the body for real. Real taxing.
Right. Dudes would definitely have to have their bodies right and everything else, man. So that would definitely be crazy. Championship run down on the Western side. I don't know if you heard, but Arkansas ran 3:21 in the 4x4.
Ooh. They not playing, boy.
Yeah, 3:21. But which is really crazy about that is 3:21. A lot of high school 4x4 boys teams struggle to get under 3:20. So that means almost all of their legs had to be maybe on average 50 point or 51, maybe with a 49 somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought that was amazing, which is pretty big for the School of Arkansas because, you know, they have a very deep trophy case of championships. I think they have the most.
Yeah, I mean, they were dominating when I was in college already. So, I mean, when you look at their legacy as a school, it's hard to compare to any other school. You know, they know how to win. They know how to get the job done. So you can never count them out. You can never bet against them in a lot of different events. So, you know, the shout out to those ladies. They did an amazing job. I'd like to see what they're going to do going into the NCAAs for sure.
That's good, man. What else went on this weekend, bro?
Man, so I like to revisit something that came out not too long ago. These sex beds. They talked about having these anti-sex beds in Tokyo. And obviously COVID happened. So, you know, quarantine happened. So ain't nobody would get nothing. You know what I mean? So beds didn't even need to be there for that reason. So, but now we have these anti-sex beds that have arrived at Paris Olympics after horny athletes admit to orgies aimed competition, right? So
this is crazy.
My thing is now these beds, it has a mattress, right? Y'all can look it up and see these beds have mattresses. But the thing is the frame of the bed is all cardboard. It's like you putting up cardboard boxes and using it as a pallet and then throwing a mattress on top of that. Doesn't sound very comfortable, right? Now, why would that even be comfortable for your elite athletes who are trying to win gold medals and have trained for this moment for 4 years to go out there and sleep on cardboard boxes? That sounds very weird. And on top of that, why are y'all governing their comings and goings? They're all adults. Let them do what they want to do, have fun how they want to have. Like, I don't understand like why this is such a problem that they need to feel like they need to fix.
I don't know. I think because that side is starting to be talked about more, I think the Olympics wanted to try to be like, well, this is one of the things that we didn't want to get out there. You know what I mean? They kind of knew it was happening, but they didn't want it to be publicized. Now you have a lot of athletes admitting to shenanigans that go on behind the scenes. It's like the dark side of the Olympics, like that nobody knows. But I mean, this happens all the time. I remember they talked about in '96. I remember a few of the athletes talking about in '96 when the Olympics was in the United States, how like athletes from around the world, from some parts of the world that were third world countries, was training to make it to the Olympics. And when the Olympics was over, they just disappeared in America.
Oh, they defected. Yeah, they defected and just ran off. This is a true story. This still happens to this day. They still do that, bro. They still do that. They get over, they go for a race, and then they go out for a morning run or go out and train. Next thing you know, they just disappear. They're gone in the wind.
Yeah, man. So I think we probably need to have like I don't know which company will pick it up, like the dark side of the Olympics or track and field, and like talk about a lot of the things that don't go on, maybe to expose our sport a little bit more. Like, I mean, you see it happen like all the time in the other professions. They got like the dark side of comedy, the dark side of World Wrestling Federation. You know what I mean? Our sport has a dark side. Of course, they'll say, oh, yeah, it's drugs. Nah, outside of that, it's a lot of other things that go on.
You're just trying to hear them stories
people don't know
that you don't want to connect the days.
I'm trying to
Hey, that's true, though. You remember those TV shows where they kind of shadow out the individual who's telling the information, and they kind of disguise their voice a little bit? Have someone come in the room and be like, I opened the door, and it was just butt nakedness everywhere.
Because every sport has it, man. You ever had some type of, somebody stealing money, somebody, or, hopefully there's no trafficking going on or something like that. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that go on behind the doors of track and field that we don't talk about.
It's true.
That I've seen a couple of things and it'd be like, if they got on TV, boy, somebody in trouble. Somebody in trouble.
No, it's true. It's right. But here's my issue on that topic, though. Seriously, here's my issue with that topic, bro. Like, y'all too busy worrying about that. And we know athletes, bro, especially rambunctious athletes. They know that their bed made out of cardboard. They're going to try to break their bed to get the views. They're going to try to make sure they get the views. Athletes going to get hurt. They're going to try to test the bed. It's a recipe for disaster. If they really care about the athletes, bro, if they really care about the athletes and their health, they would get McDonald's out those cafeterias and then make sure they have real quality meals instead of worry about if they bed is breakable.
Oh, boy, listen, you trying to get cancer, boy. McDonald's is probably one of the biggest sponsors out there, boy. You crazy as ever. They not gonna get out of there, man, at all, boy. Definitely not.
Listen, ain't not knocking McDonald's at all. All I'm saying is the priority is the athletes' well-being. Because in Rio, it was the worst. Because we didn't have no central air. We have no real AC, so you had to open your windows up. And that was the same time that Zika was going on. So now you over there hotboxing and jabbing and shadow boxing with mosquitoes, trying to make sure you won't get no Zika and have little baby heads running around. You know what I'm saying? So
that was, boy, you crazy, boy. But you're right. You're right. But the guys and the women, they gonna do what they do regardless, man. You can't. Ain't no bed gonna stop nobody, man. They sound crazy as ever. Ain't no bed gonna stop them from doing what they do. Ain't no bed stop people who ain't athletes from doing what they do. So they think it's gonna stop people with spiked testosterone.
So
all around the world.
So the beds are just strictly twin beds. So that makes me feel like y'all don't know how sex works. Cause you gotta worry about nobody laying next to you, bro. It's all on a top or bottom kind of thing in the situation. So I don't understand why they think twin beds. Have they not been to college? They forgot how college was? You still got it in?
I don't even know if they do know how college is, because we had twin beds and it happened all the time. So I don't know what's going on. One thing we forgot to do, bro, we talked about the East. We didn't talk about the West.
Oh, get back on the West.
Yeah, on the West side of regionals, man, we had Sean, the U of H.
Oh, Sean.
Carl Lewis is doing his thing.
He is. And Sean and Louis.
Yeah. Sean and Louis of U of H doing their thing, man. So, and it's crazy because Carl Lewis and Leo Burrell were co-workers at one point at U of H.
Yeah.
Now, 1 and 2 over in the East is Leroy Burrell. 1 and 2 at on this region at U of H belongs to Carl Lewis and his coaching staff. And they were both 1 and 2 when they were training together.
This is true.
That's a whole lot of 1 and 2s.
They're keeping the tradition going.
What you think about that? I'm not saying like, is that a comfortable coaching rivalry right there? Like, I mean, and those boys put up good numbers, man. Louis put up 984 with a 2.5 win. And you know what Coach Brooks, and any other coach out there say, if you could do it in 2.5 and under, you can do it.
You can do it.
You can do
Exactly.
You can do it.
Him and Sean.
Sean has ran 9.8 before, but like, he's not ran 9.8 and got beat by somebody from his school.
Oh, yeah.
By other guys, but not somebody from his school, in which Louis Hinchcliffe has come along quite great.
That is a true byproduct of iron sharpening iron right there, dog. That's what that is. The growth together.
Yeah, and they have a great camaraderie, man. I've seen those two, after they finish the race, they tap each other up about how it looks. Because funny thing is, the camera always makes it look like people have good relationships, and I've made that mistake probably one too many times. I'd be like, man, that's a great trainer. I'd be like, man, I don't mess with that dude, man. I'd be like, what?
Nice.
That is crazy. Yeah. So they do a good job if they're not like good training partners, or if they're not ones to like, oh, we cool, because they on the 4x1 together and everything. Man, Carl is doing him and his coaching staff are doing a fantabulous job out there in Houston. In which, in the 200, I seen that young man, Lance Lang, is making his name ring again.
Oh, Lance Lang, back in the circle, dog.
Yes, he is. He topped the field with 1999 with Sean and 20.08. They were in different heats, of course. So I'd like to see, you know what I mean, going back to that other lineup of Louis Hinchcliffe, Sean, when they get to NCs with Favor Ashe and the Auburn kids. I know we jump back to the 100, but who do you think out of those four, or is there like a dark horse in that NCAA final?
Man, you can never count out the dark horse, bro. You can never count out the dark horse. And on top of that, I mean, I feel like, especially in the men's sprint side right now in the collegiate world, it's an OK out. It's like a shootout at the OK Corral, So Sean be on his game one time, then you have Favor Ashe on his game another time, and it's gonna go on, so on, Louis, and so on and so on. So you really got to just look at how they are running through the rounds of that meet instead of looking at the trajectory of where they at throughout the season. That's what I feel. So, but if I had to go out there and, man, Sean does a great job. He's really on his game right now. That's a hard one, dog, because I can't mention Sean without mentioning Louis now. You feel me? And then also, same thing with Favor Ashe. I mean, Favor Ashe has ran consistent fast times in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? It's just about grabbing that big spot when it's time. Now I think he's ready for that. So it's hard counting out those guys who've been there and done it, Man,
I'm gonna go with what you said, man. I'm gonna go with the most consistent guy, man. We're gonna go with Favor. Favor Ashe, I think Favor is gonna he's gonna get this one. He's gonna win this. This is gonna be his first NCAA title. I think this is gonna be it for him. I could be wrong, but I've seen Favor. I've seen the way he runs his races, and I think that he's gonna be up. You know what I mean? What do you think about the lady from Oregon, Jaden Mays? 1083. 2.3. 1083.
Boy, that's I watched her run. So she got swag with her too. So she looks like she's very poised. She's confident in herself. She gonna be a problem, dog. She gonna be a problem. I think there's a 1088 out there. Who ran a legal 1088? A female.
Rosemary from Texas Tech.
Yeah. So I like to see that showdown between those two. I think that's gonna be a real nice showdown for sure at NCAAs.
Man, listen, when all these girls lock up with all these 10, you had the 2 10-8s. And then you had Jalen Garner, 11 flat from BYU. Hers was 180, but Rosemary's 1088 was legal with 1.2.
Yeah.
Hers was legal.
Yeah.
But they all were in different heats though. So, you know what I mean? Depending on how all of them ran it, they were all in different heats. So this 100 meters out here in Oregon, East versus West, it ain't even East versus West, it's everybody versus everybody, school versus school. Man, it's gonna go down, man.
Hey boy, it's about to be a showdown in NCAAs for sure.
Yeah. Jaden Mays, you're right. Her swag is on 100,000 trillion. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see how she come along running against the old Miss young lady.
Look, man, you got to be
that's going to be good.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit of bully. She's like that though. She a little bully out there because crossing the line when she dropped that 10-9, maybe a couple weeks back, she hit him with the right to come across the line like this and the whole field behind her. I was like, you got to have a little confidence definitely to do something like that. Big confidence to be actually. So it's going to be interesting to see her when everything gets really hot and heavy in those rounds.
You may be thinking it's because the SEC is so hard and the SEC is in the East. You know what I mean? They feel on that side of the region that they don't get a lot of love like the SEC. Like everybody hyped the SEC, in which good reason. They're dropping really good times over there on the Western region, but she may be like, okay, they talking about everybody else, but they ain't really talking about me. So now I'm gonna show y'all why y'all should talk about me. You know what I mean?
Putting it out there. Putting it out there for sure.
Hey, she definitely, if that's what she was doing, she definitely got our attention because we haven't referenced her at all on our show. Jaden Mays, you're doing good.
Doing good, girl. Keep doing your thing. Keep showing out too.
Keep doing your thing, man, with those fast times. And she gonna lock up with Mackenzie Long in the 1 and the 2 because she did double and she was at the top of the list in the 200 also. So we're gonna see how that's gonna happen at NCAAs. Outside of that, man, we had pre this weekend. Nike Prefontaine Classic.
Nike Prefontaine Classic, man. It did not disappoint. It was a good meet.
No, it didn't.
It went very well. What was your take on it? What did you feel about the meet overall?
No, they definitely put on a excellent meet. Very, very good. They had an early, I watched the interview with Michael Johnson before the meet. Did you see that? They tried to get him to talk about what he was going to do in his league. That's come, but he said he wouldn't talk about it. What did you think? Did you see that interview?
I did. I watched the interview.
What'd you think about the interview? Let me ask you that.
I felt like he didn't want to give information away, but then when he started to elaborate on the landscape of track and field right now, I feel like he really was foreshadowing exactly what is to come when it comes to his meet, you know? So they asked him and said, what do you feel like the state of track and field is? And his answer was, we are too enamored by time. Everyone's expecting fast times now. And when an athlete lines up with a name to him, you expect him to go out there and break a record, or you expect him to run very fast, a world lead almost every time, you know? And we lost the love and the essence of true competition, which is also enjoy the race. Enjoy watching a fast race or a competition head to head where these guys or ladies are really trying to establish dominance in this race. So I think that he was 100% right on what he was saying. I agree with him. I think that we lack that interest anymore of just pure competition, and we just want to see results. but that's how the generation is. And that's how the world's lined up right now. Conveniency of results. Okay, cool. A lot of people don't even watch track and field as much anymore. They go straight on YouTube or they go straight on social media just to get the results now. A lot of them don't even try to tune in to watch the races in real time, you know? So we need to go back to loving the sport, really, and watching the sport and watching the anticipation, how the race unravels, instead of saying, there's a time. Oh, it was a good time? Yes, that was a good race. Oh, it was an okay time? Yeah, it was an okay race, you know?
I think what people don't understand, man, is they don't understand that the mental fortitude that goes into when you line up against a formidable opponent. Like he said, he was the guy asked him about Christian Miller, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't even really follow high school track. The kid ran a good time. He didn't take anything away from the kid. But what he is like, you should be focusing on the pros because, I mean, once you know you're the fastest person in the race, and we've all had this happen to us at some point in our career or at a point in time, if you know you're the fastest guy, there's no pressure. It's so much easier to run fast and dominate your race and move on, especially if your heat sheet looks like something like 10-2, 10-2, 10-1, 10-1, 10-0, 10-0, and you're like in your 2015 season, you already rang off 2 9.7s. In your head, you could be like, yeah, I could get out and I can motor down and this be it. But then when you line up 9.7 and you like 9.7, 9.6, 9.5, 9.8, 9.8. Now you like, yo, bro, I have to be ready because any mistake I make will cost me the win. You know what I mean? You don't care at this point now getting second and third, because if you are like one who is the one who's supposed to be the winner, you know you have to win because that's what everybody expecting of you. So I think that's what he was trying to convey to the interviewer, that, you know, when you line up in these big races, if an athlete falls, it's not because he's not in shape or prime to run fast. That mental part could get to him where it could be at a point of, my anxiety was so high, I forgot to do this in my transition, or I never do this in the tail end of my race, and it's something I did, or I didn't have the best start because I just was thinking about so many things. What do you think on that take?
No, I really agree. I think we lose, as an audience, we forget the element of these athletes are still human. It's like they think we just pop on a track and just run. They don't realize we are actually really literally in the background at a warm-up track, getting ourselves ready after flying for how many hours to get there. You know what I mean? So the preparation is lost to, I think, the audience, and they don't realize that. I mean, look at the fact of, let's say Fred Curley. Fred Curley had a foot injury, right? Kind of derailed his progress from when he was running 9.7s, and he wasn't able to bounce back the way he needed to bounce back. Look at Trayvon. Trayvon was running 9.7s just not a couple of years ago. He just had an injury. Now he has to bounce back from that injury. You know, same thing as you look at DeGrasse. DeGrasse had a coaching change, and then he had another coaching change. So then he's getting back himself together. So when you look at athletes like that, who we're known to run fast times, and we look for them to run the fast times, and when they get in the blocks, they don't run the time that we thought they could run. It leaves us scratching our head sometimes, but we have to take in consideration that, you know what I mean, they human too. They just gearing themselves up, and they have to be able to get the job done within those 9 seconds, hopefully. Do you know what I mean? Not to just entertain you, but to make sure that they are on track for the time they desire to run too.
And life happens to these athletes. So let me help some of our listeners understand. So like, I know of a few athletes, like this is what they're going into the race thinking, and they shouldn't, but they're human. They're like, man, this is my contract year. If I don't do good this year, they're going to take my contract. Does that mean that they're not in good shape? No, they just have real stuff on their mind about, dang, I have to perform, in which performance anxiety can happen. You know what I mean? You put so much pressure on yourself to get something done, whether it's about a contract or they telling me if I don't stay ranked in the world top 5, I get reduced by 30 or 40%. Now, 30 or 40% in anybody's lifestyle is a lifestyle change. You hear me? I'm trying to tell you. So if you're making, let me just make it easy. If you're making $100K and you don't make that team, they basically saying your base salary went from $100K to $60K. They took 40%. That's a lifestyle change. You got to scale back a lot. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think our fans sometimes they don't understand why they can't compete, man. They just fold under pressure. If you was under that same pressure, you might fold also.
100%. And right now, this is the era where it's like athletes are trying to establish dominance, right? There's no clear, I think the audience has been, spoiled by the era of the Usain Bolts, the Safas, myself, the Tysons, where you saw athletes who were dominating and they were running faster times more consistently. You got to give these athletes a little bit more grace. You know what I mean? They're still young when it comes to the track and field game, and they have a time to still get primed. A lot of these guys are just getting into age 30. A lot of them are still in their 20s. So they have time to be able to prepare themselves for by the time they really get to that priming zone, that priming era of their life, they'll be wiser, but they also will still be strong, and they can combine the two to be able to be a better athlete for themselves.
Yeah, and a lot of them, you are definitely correct. A lot of the stars now are in their 20s and trying to find their way. You know what I mean? So there's no script to the surge and the fame they get or anybody to tell them how to handle it. Because everybody's strive to the top is different. You know what I mean? It's just how you take it in, what's going to happen. You know what I mean? You go from being hungry to not being hungry. You know what I mean? To changing your goals now, because once you achieve that goal, you have to have another goal. If I'm the gold medalist now my next goal probably should be, okay, I need to be a gold medalist again. And after that gold medal, then you say, okay, I want to sustain legacy now. I got 2 crowns. I'm the world champion and I'm the Olympic champion. So now I want to stretch into legacy. How will I let my name be etched in time forever?
So
you know what I mean?
What I'm about to say now, this statement is actually going to feed back into the conversation of Pre. I'll give you a perfect example. You sit there, and if you are watching the meet or you're kind of halfway watching the meet, like the announcer said for the women's 100-meter hurdles, they called Nia Ali's name. And when they called Nia Ali's name, they said, if you didn't know, Nia Ali just got off of a flight 2 hours ago. And he or she is at the stadium about to go and run. I want you to understand, it takes an athlete normally, right, an hour to warm up. So imagine if you just got off a plane 2 hours ago, do you really think you have real time to warm up and get yourself ready? But she realized that she had to go out there and either make some money, get them dividends for herself, also, or honor to what she signed for contractually with her sponsor to make sure that she goes out there and compete. So it's a lot of stresses that go along with that. And it's things that you can't change, like if your flight's delayed or not delayed and you still show up, hats off to you, Nia. Because there's a lot of athletes who go out there and do that, and they're never told, the audience never knows, and then they scratching their head wondering why they got 7th place or 6th place when you realize they probably jet lagged. They probably really tired. They probably not trying to injure themselves so they can get ready for the next race.
But the funny thing about Nia, man, she a dog, and she gonna tell you she ain't taking that as no excuse, even though we're letting the world know that that's a thing. She would probably be like, man, that ain't no excuse. I'm gonna just get it done the next time. But we gotta let people know where she flew from, because flying to Oregon is like going to Europe. She flew from Florida.
Florida. Across the United States.
Across
5+ hours. That's like flying to Europe. You understand?
Okay.
And if her flight was delayed, that means she had the right flight. If her flight got delayed, that means that she'd been sitting in the airport for maybe another extra 2 to 3 hours, then had to be able to miss a connection most likely. So she had to sit another 2 to 3 hours and then finally fly in. And then the whole time she's getting off the plane, probably calling her agent saying, I'm in the car, I'm on the way, I'm driving. Oh, get me there. We about to run. She probably jumping in her spikes right in the warm-up area and going out there and just running just like that. I mean, that's what happens. And a lot of people will never know that.
But that's why we're here. We're here to get those backstories so people understand, you know what I mean? That's probably why, you know what I mean? So shout outs to Nia, man, and her finishing. And it's very unfortunate that she got there super late for her race, man. Shoot. But in that race, which was a great race, you had Devin Charlton, the indoor world record holder from the Bahamas, the world champion, Danielle, the Olympic champion, Jasmine Camacho Quinn, and the silver medalist from World, Serena from France, in which Serena pulled off the win. I watch that young girl train every day. She trains on the same track I do. Man, she trains very hard, and she has a great training partner that actually helped mold her and Jasmine Camacho Quinn, man. They go back and forth with each other. You know what I mean? And well, like to what you being said, iron sharpens iron.
It does. And she's not no slouch. I think she's a silver medalist indoor, right? In world championships indoor.
Yep.
She's a silver medalist.
Former gold medalist. She was the reigning gold medalist who Devin took her down. Yes.
But she has that magic on her this year.
Oh yeah, Paris. She got to represent the home.
She has that magic on her. When the Olympics are in your home and your country, you got to turn up, dog. You know you got to turn up. So obviously she gonna go out there and win one of the most prestigious Diamond League races of the year at Prefontaine. Got her a W, and that's gonna give her confidence going through the rest of the season too.
Listen, she equaled their national record. You know what I mean? So definitely all eyes are on
I didn't know
her.
she did that too. She was out there equaling national records.
Yeah. She equaled her. So she broke it this year.
Her record.
Yeah,
she liked that.
She equaled it.
She liked that. Okay.
She liked that. So like she's coming on, and she's young, man. She's 23.
Oh yeah, she got a long career ahead of her.
She's young.
For sure.
Now to speak that she from the hometown. How many? This is a little off topic. How many times? Because this came on my playlist the other day. How many times do you think ninjas in Paris will play in Paris? And I'm saying ninjas. Yeah.
Unlimited amount of time, dog. First of all, I appreciate you bluntly not saying it, but we have you already recorded, dog, through our vlogs. And I know that's your second favorite word. So
listen. I'm going to say ninjas, man. I don't know what that man talking about. Listen, that came on my playlist, and I was like, man, I can't imagine how much times this song is going to play when somebody who's a ninja gets a gold medal.
Hey, boy, first of all, if we make it over to the Paris, boy, we going to open up that window. We going to open up that window shade, watching the plane land. We going to be like, doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. That's going to be the theme song for the whole Olympics, dog. The whole
Olympics, man. And so I wish this whole stuff between Jay and Kanye never started, because if they could hold out and they performed that at the Olympics, how big would that be, bro?
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
It'd be really huge, dog. They definitely, I mean, the song is a classic already, but it will resurrect that song. You know that those classic songs where you got to play it at the right time? That is that song. You got to play that song. It is at the right time. It's going to be a whole bunch of ninjas in Paris, dog. Very, very talented ones at that too.
Exactly. I mean, I hope these little pubs and bars are ready, because the after parties and the DJs, this thing going to be so crazy, man. I can't imagine how it's going to be. I think Paris is like the European New York.
It is 100%. I read an article where you go to Paris in season. So when it's like a tourist season there, they clean up the streets. They make it look beautiful, like during the springtime or the summer. But it's like when it's like fall, boy, they say that thing look like New York. Graffiti everywhere, trash, everything.
Yeah, man. Shoot. But getting back on topic, man. Man, what you thought? Listen, we gonna get back to the sprints. But Josh and Jakob, this Norway, Great Britain, they don't want to call it beef or whatever they want to call it. But listen, boy, these boys not playing. Did you watch the mile?
I watched, of course, dog. I had to watch the mile. Dog. This is what track and field is like. It has to be like this, bro. It has to. We have to understand the athletes' characters, man. And when they are going to have, I didn't want to call it what. It's a little beefy. It's beef. It's beef there. You know what I mean? It's competitive, but it's beef there too. Like they've been known to say some things back and forth and be like, psh, you know. But what do you think about the race itself?
Man, I definitely think the race was epic. I think Josh Kerr took it to Jakob in that last lap. Usually Jakob is he'll control the last lap. He'll start to make his move early. But Josh made his move early, and you can tell he's been working a little bit of sprint work, man. His mechanics looks a lot more like in tune, like with the sprinter, like the way his arms and legs move. And that last 200, boy, he was moving like Jakob, that's the first time I seen him like that. Like you could see like he was trying to catch or trying to make his move, knowing he couldn't really move on him that last 200. Like he's like, there was the look in his eye like, I hope he fades. Because if he keeps this up, I can't catch it.
He said, look at that with I hope he fades.
You know when you strive with somebody in a race and you're like, hey, man, just fall off. Just
you
fall
like
off.
this. Break, damn it. Break.
Because I'm a break.
I'm breaking. All right, so I think Josh came for a fight, bro. Like he didn't let his words that he spoke already go to vain, right? Like he made sure that he was coming to back up the fact that he's the man. He feels like he better, and he changed his whole strategy up. So now he already countered what Jock was bringing to the table, and he already knew the strategy Jock was going to bring to the table. So he's like, all right, cool, I got something for you. But how do you think Jock going to bounce back from that though?
Oh, he going to bounce back. Man, them dudes don't play over there. Listen, this means war, boy. This means war because he beat him where he should have won. We got to remember, Jakob is a Nike athlete. He beat him in Nike Town. He don't like losing no way. One. So this means war. When they meet up again, boy, it's gonna be epic. Boy, they ain't playing no games. Boy, they this is the first time I seen these distance runners. They swagging like they run 100. Like
hey boy, they about to go have us go put on some shirts so we can rep them, dog. Like I
try to tell you,
they keeping that beef real, dog. Like seriously, like that static, that competitive edge is just like now you want to sit there and watch the mile. You want to know more about the mile. That's what is needed. These events need that, bro. True. Like it helps you want to dive in to learn the sport and the event itself a little deeper, so you can enjoy the competition that you're really watching, man. We need that.
Yeah, no, we definitely need that. Josh has definitely made me a fan. I already knew about Jakob. I didn't know much about Josh, except for after the last World Championships. But like he because the way that he talks and who he is, his character, how assertive he is, he made me a fan, bro. Like he made me a fan. Like I want to know more about who Josh is. You know what I mean? Which is great for our sport,
Facts.
like you said.
Facts. So we had the men's 100. I think it was a good test for Coleman, who came out with the victory. It was to see exactly where he was in a more competitive race of 100 meters. He came across the line. He turned around. He didn't look too pleased. Probably wanted the world lead at that time. That's what that face looked. That face was like, nah, all right, we'll settle for it. You know what I mean? But I mean, he ran a really good textbook race, as Coleman does when he's ready for competition. The thing you got to like about Coleman is no matter if it's a early season race or a later race or even just through the rounds, he understands how to rise to the occasion for a big moment. If he's capable of getting the job done, 100% of the time, he's going to get the job done. That's what you have to love about an athlete who has that dog mentality in them. They're going to rise to that occasion. So running 9:95, at the Prefontaine to win the Classic. Omanyala was right there. Omanyala, if he had, 1 more meter, 2 more meters, it might have been Omanyala's race. So shout out to Omanyala getting himself sharp and in shape too. And it was a good field. It was a good run.
Yeah, definitely a good run. I think Coleman could take this as, okay, I'm kind of getting into my rhythm. I'm back sub 10. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know next time he tries to get sub 10, he doesn't want to see 9.9 anything. You know what I mean? He knows, would it be in Olympic trials, you know what I mean? Coming against, a lot of formidable opponents, he know 9.9 is not going to get it done this time. 9.9 will not get it done. So he has about 4 weeks to kind of figure out, his coach and himself, figure out, okay, where we at. But like I said, man, for a lot of fans who don't know, we don't know where they're at in that training. Is he light? You know, was he lifting heavy before this meet? Did he feel like he could just train through it and still win? You know what I mean? Because that's what happens when you have experienced athletes and coaches. They'd be like, oh, okay, look, man, don't back off the weights. We want to train right through. And if we get it done today, we get it done. But we just need to see these numbers, and then we'll sharpen up for tries to try to make the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm excited to see what is going to happen with the 100 meters at Olympic trials, because I'm surprisingly, the 100 for me has been very lackluster this season because it's Olympic year. If you look back at other Olympic years, everyone has come out guns blazing, fire and ready to go. Maybe everyone adopted the same philosophy of strike when the moment is there, the biggest moment possible, which is the Olympic trials and the Olympics. So maybe that's what we're looking for. Maybe we have a new, different era and a different kind of athlete that thinks different and is coached different, to where a lot of athletes don't really necessarily care about grandstanding and running super fast times at these one-off races around the world. They just going out there collecting money, getting their couple of W's, and they'll show up again. But the moments that really matter is getting on those podiums.
yeah, the moments on the podium get you paid, man. Shoot, what'd you think about the men's 200?
Man, Kenny is transforming into being a problem for sure. But first of all, shouts out to Dennis, man. Dennis Mitchell out there, Star Athletics, because he had an amazing meet. His boys, his athletes, his men swept the 200 meters. Kenny, Courtney, and Kyrie King, first, second, and third. And they did it in grand fashion. Kenny looks, I want to say in really sharp form, right? Commanded the race from the beginning, came home on the turn, still dominated. And I see he's working on still holding and being strong with that last gear. If you watch a couple of races of him back in the past, he would get out and hold a certain gear, but he didn't know how to switch that gear and run just a little bit faster. And I see that he's really been working on being more pronounced with his strike pattern and keeping his velocity and momentum going with about 50 to go. So it's interesting. It's really going to be interesting to see how he navigates himself through the rounds and how he's going to run that finals.
Well, but definitely Dennis gonna always have them ready for the rounds. You know that best yourself. Making it through the rounds should be fairly easy for him, because he's only gonna run fast when he really feel like he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
In which if him and Noah doesn't lock up at all in any of the rounds, he definitely, I'm not saying it's going to be easy for him, but he makes it to the final unless he gets injured. But once he lines up with Noah, he's going to have to bring definitely his A game.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I mean, both of them are super talented athletes, bro. So it'll be a good shootout. It'll be a good dogfight for sure. What else we got over there? What we have?
We gonna move on to the women's 100.
What was your thoughts, bro?
It's like I said,
that was a stacked field right there. That was a truly stacked field.
Very, very stacked field. But it's like I said, once I feel like, she carries on her journey. She's making her journey. Her and her coach, they have their plan. And I mean, she's been out of the media for a while. Not saying that she was all in the media, but she was out of the media for a while. She trained. She locked in. You know what I mean? You see where she at, 10-8. She opened up at 10-8. You know what I mean? So, which is really good for her, because in the next 4 weeks, if she's at 10-8, ain't no telling where she gonna be in the next 4 weeks, man. That girl is just super talented. But Julian Alfred is making a campaign to be on the podium. If nobody around the world don't see that, these girls gonna find out the hard way, because she came to play. She ran 10.93. You know what I mean? She started the season a little bit later. This is a second year pro. She's starting to figure out. She got a little tasty taste.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, she made the final, but she ain't coming to get no tasty taste this year, man. She trying to bite.
She did. She ran she ran a really solid race, bro. She cleared the field. She didn't run and operate in traffic. She made sure that she was out in front, So it's good to see exactly. And Flo knows what he's doing. He's gonna make sure she's sharp and she's ready. She probably has probably the season that's least trying. And why I say that is because obviously coming from her country, which is a very small island, and she's not going to have stiff competition getting ready for the Olympic trial. So that's going to give her enough time to sharpen herself up and get ready to run times without that pressure or even that wear and tear on her body. So now she can go out, run races, collect a couple of checks, still stay sharp, and then rest herself up for the Olympics itself.
Yeah, shoot. Well, like you said, it was a stacked race. You know what I mean? But it being stacked, our current Olympic champion was in that race. Who closed the gate?
Olympic Elaine, bro.
Olympic Elaine.
Olympic Elaine. So
yes.
Are you concerned that Elaine closed the gate, her performance at Prix?
Definitely. I'm concerned, but not as concerned as everybody around the world is. Right? You know what I mean? Obviously, everybody says, oh, she shouldn't have put herself in that position knowing that she was in a stacked field. My only conclusion, because I mean, coaches know what you're going to run when you go out there. You know what I mean? I don't think if our coach knew that what she was going to run, she would put out there. So this is just my educated guess as to why she went out there. And you let me know what you think. This was the first year that she went back to Prix, not as a Nike athlete. And if you're not a Nike athlete, it means that you can get an appearance fee. You can get an appearance fee. In my head, it's not that she needs it, but what I'm saying is, why give that up? You can get formidable competition. You can get, she didn't run anywhere else this year. You know what I mean? She picked up a new sponsor in Christian Dior, so she don't need money. She don't need, but I mean, in her head, all the years she's ran for Nike, she went out there for the free ski.
100% against her toughest competition.
You know all about it.
I know all about it, bro. When I went from Nike to X-Step, it was my first year running as a non-Nike athlete at Prix. And I was able to negotiate an appearance fee for the first time at Prix. And guess what? You was getting paid. You know what I'm saying? I got paid. I loved it. I got paid because it was one of the biggest meets of the year. So that they had a bank. They had money connected to it. It's backed by Nike. So they got money connected to it. And they want the best athletes to be able to run at that meet. Now, what happens is most of those athletes lined up are Nike athletes. So none of them are getting paid appearance fee. So they got money still to be able to pay big dogs. So back to Elaine. She's a Puma athlete. She is reigning Olympic champion. She has a lot of things connected to her name and her resume to say, hey, go and give me that money. And that's what happened. That's what she did. I feel like she came. She knows she wasn't 100% prepared, probably not even 50% prepared, but she had to make sure she had to see exactly where she was and test herself. And she came away with a little money in her pocket. Now she can get ready, rebase, retrain, get out there. And a lot of people that's probably going to write her off now, they're going to be blindsided by the time she probably makes it to the Jamaican trials or even after that.
What if she, and this is another conclusion, what if she is playing possum? She gave, and which wouldn't make sense because she would have to make it out of Jamaica. This would have made sense if Jamaica trials would have happened and then she ran like this. But what if she playing possum for competitors, or going back home to Jamaica, to make her Jamaican
counterparts
counterparts feel like she not ready, and then she drop a dime on them.
Well, I mean, it ain't that much she can hide, bro. I mean, her and Shelly Ann have the same coach. It just so happened that they don't train together. So it isn't like the coach does not know that she's not ready and he's going to be like, oh, Shelly Ann, I ain't going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you. You know what I'm saying? But I think at the end of the day, you have to, it's so hard to just sit there and say, all right, you playing possum, but are you playing, boy, that's big possum, boy. That is a big possum, dog.
Listen,
to go out there and close the gate and to run 11:30, that is a big possum.
What if a coach say, okay, go out there, work on your start and just form it up after that? Because she was with the field for like 20, 25. And then It looked like she ran basically a tech 100 after that.
Yeah.
Technique for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because her caliber, her ceiling is so high. You know what I mean? So that's what it looked like. Be like, hey, man, just see how, if you could stick with them for like 25, 30, and then after that, just warm it up. Then we come back home, work on some things, and we get ready for Jamaican trials.
I tell you what, that takes a lot of balls right there, boy. You know what I'm saying? To really...
What do you lose? You don't lose anything. You gain the money. You got your exposure. You know what I mean? You don't lose anything. The only thing you lose is the Jamaican people and people around the world talking about you crazy, about to write you off. And funny thing is, the same people, if she go home and drop 10-7 at Jamaican trials, it's gonna be the same people that's gonna put her back on the pedestal and be like, Jamaican Elaine,
I'm drinking rum and Red Bull. They gonna be out there partying. She fat, y'all.
You know what I mean? So who knows? But those are just our takes on Elaine. Hopefully she isn't going through any issues and she can defend her crown, because everybody definitely would love to see the matchup. Everybody wants to win when their competitors are at their best. Nobody wants to win and beat their competitor when a competitor is like, oh, I have this, I have that. You know what I mean? So hopefully she's if she is playing possum, this is like the greatest game plan ever. Because if she do at Jamaica Trials 10-7, what would you say?
That was a big ass possum, boy. That was a big possum, dog. I mean, what can I really say though, bro? All I can say is the fact of like, she really was in tune on the fact of working on certain aspects of a race, and she's willing to sacrifice her prestige in a race and be questioned because she was only working on something, and then she come back now and now she's ready to go. That means that as an athlete like her, which I'm not doubting because she's what, 3-time Olympic champion? Or is it 2?
Mm-hmm. 2-time.
Yeah.
I think it's 2-time.
2-time Olympic champion, right? So she understands what it is to seize the moments. You know what I mean? She understands what it is to be able to build her legacy and know which race really counts. So by the time we get to Olympic trials, Jamaica, USA, whatever, when that dust settles, ain't nobody thinking about Pre. You know, Pre is going to be a cliff note. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, oh yeah, she did good at Pre, but here we is now. You know, she did bad at Pre, but here we are now. So she still got to go through those 3 rounds. She still got to get ready for that. And it might be the same thing with Sharika's going through. Not saying Sharika ran it bad, but I'm saying like on the fact of like when their body is loaded from weights and real heavier conditioning, and then when they're able to like lift themselves off that weights and be able to speed their body back up to where it needs to be, you know, then she's going to go out there and run fast, you know? So.
Shoot, listening to Elaine interview, she don't care what people think, no way, bro. So that's why I think she has nothing to lose. She'll go out there and be like, shoot, it don't matter to me, man. I got my paper. Me and my husband, we good. I don't care about nobody to say, I'm going to make this team. She said, journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step, man. She do not care. You know what I mean?
There it is.
Does not.
And that is confidence of a true champion right there. When you know,
it's just,
you don't care about what everybody gonna say, you handle and you know your journey, you know your process.
This brings me to another question, because meets are running out and we haven't seen Shelly Ann. With them having the same coach, it makes me think, and I don't think Shelly Ann's out of shape. She's very disciplined or anything and everything like that. But I'm just wondering, what kind of shape is Shelly in, you know? And previous years, she's ran already. We would have seen her already.
Yeah.
Even in a 200, we would have seen her, or a 400, we would have seen her, but we haven't seen her at all. What do you think about that?
There's a couple of athletes that we haven't seen though, at all. I mean,
Arian.
That's what I'm saying.
We haven't seen Arian Knighton at all.
At all.
You know what I mean? And he's a great young bull who's just built his stat sheet. You know what I mean? In the last 2 years, up really high very quickly. You know what I mean? I hope all is well with Arian Knighton.
I hope so too. I'm excited to see him come back and run. Obviously, he has abilities. If he drops a 19.4, you know what I'm saying? He has abilities to run some really good times. And I'm going to stick by what I'm going to stand on business. I'm going to say it. He's the future of the 200. He has to be able to just mature into the 200, know that he's a dominant figure, and go out there and run and win the races. Like when he came into the game, he had so much confidence. I believe that he just needed to reestablish himself and know that he's here to stay. We haven't seen Shelly Ann yet. This is Shelly Ann's retirement year. So knowing Shelly Ann, who is a gamer, who's always going to rise to the occasion, do I think Shelly Ann's going to step out half-stepping? Absolutely not. Shelly Ann's going to step out when she's ready to step out, and she's going to step out and run a time that's comparable enough to what the world is running right now and be in the front of that pack. And we've seen her do it before, where she's prolonged her first race and she drops a 10-8. You know what I mean? So we know that she's able to get it done, and she's going to do it on her terms. This is her last year. I'm sitting back with just my popcorn ready to go because I know that she's going to show up at least with something because she wants to go out with a bang.
Definitely. The other race I watched that was really good, man, that it was going to be a really good race because you had the top 3 competitors in the world do it. We had Mary Mara, Keely Hodgkinson, and then I think Mo, she pulled out at the last minute. But you seen Keely Hodgkinson, man. She dropped Mary Mara off at that 150 mark, man, and her sprint speed, was amazing, man. She really moved, man. I definitely say I think Mo and the Keely Hodgkinson and the Mary Mara, they've made the 800 very exciting for me to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I only started watching those 3 women have made me watch the 800. And so I just want to shout them out. I hope, I think Mo is okay. But Keely's doing her thing. She ran out there and ran the world lead on them girls. But I was just more so fascinated how she do it because she trailed for most of the race. And in that last 150, man, she moved so strongly. You know what I mean? But they say she's been doing sprint 400s. And that would create that type of sprint speed,
that kick,
man.
that real super kick.
Yeah. She's been racing, not in practice. I think she raced a 400. I can't remember what she ran, but she raced a 400 before she got to pre.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
okay. So she mean business. So, they usually say when they do that, you're trying to get in all of the diamond leagues because, they don't have the 8 and the 4 on both of them. You know what I mean? So you drop a significant time as an 800-meter runner, you could almost run in all of them. You know what I mean? And make good money.
That's true. That's true. And then you become, one of those athletes that the fans are going to look for anyway. So even if they don't think that you have opportunity to really win that race, they know that you're going to put on a good show. You know what I mean? So that's why Meets will pick you up still and be like, oh man, we already know you're going to put on a great show. Come on over.
Yeah, and she opened her pocketbook even more because now she started dropping reputable times. Now she's on the British 4x4. You know what I mean? Yeah, the workload is heavier, but your bank book would be bigger too. Shoot, since that's the last meeting, we speaking about bank books. What do you think about World Athletics changing everything to where World Championships and the Olympic Games be the penultimate event of the year, meaning no more meets?
So
I know what I think.
All right.
But I want to hear what you think first.
I think that it'll make the sport look more professional if it's done that way. If it's you put all the other one-off meets before and you have your championship at the end, aesthetically, for the sport itself, I think that's great. For the athletes, I think that's horrible. Because at the end of the day, in our sport, it's a very what have you done for me lately type of sport, right? So becoming the world champion or the Olympic champion, it's better for you to cash in immediately. So once you leave the Olympics, you have another quarter or a half of a season to go before September, right? And that's when you can be able to demand those appearance fees and high quality appearance fees when it comes to money. And it's kind of like your celebration victory lap of the season. Like, I'm the Olympic champion. Boom. I go out there, you win a couple races. You may not win that race. Cool. But now you still Olympic champion and you can still ask for your appearance fees. So unless they change that in some way, or give bonuses, better bonuses at the end where meat promoters put that in a pot of some sort and give it to the bonuses, or they have to make sure that going into the next season, they're sticking to their guns and that appearance fee has to be at a certain level. That's just my opinion. It has to be fair from both sides.
Let me ask you a question because you can answer this question. So after you get your Olympic medal or your world medal, and it's in the middle of the year, your appearance fee probably goes up percentage-wise. Just give us a percentage, anywhere from what percent to what? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%? So if you was getting 10K for appearance fee, now it changes to what? Percentage-wise.
Man, it could go up 100%.
So you mean if you was getting 10K, you could get 100K for the next meet?
Depending on the race. Depending on what you did, depending on what race, what event, how that Olympic victory unfolded, right? Let's just say like a Marcel Jacobs. He probably went from getting no appearance fee before the Olympics, and then now he was getting some of the highest appearance fees going into that next season and after that Olympics. You know what I mean?
So we are clear. So if you're in the year of the Olympics, say, now let's just do your world championships in 2017, right? You could get more money. Does that roll over into the next year? So like when you go back to Doha, say it went from 10,000 to 100,000, right? Going through the end of 2017, could you still ask for that 100,000 going into 2018? Is it the same, or they say, oh no, that was last year, we're gonna give you 80?
Every meet is a negotiation. There's never like a flat, 100% flat rate that this person can say, well, I'm charging this much, you taking me on. You and your team can say, this is my rate. So you know not to invite me, because if you can't meet that quota, then don't ask me to come, right? But it's negotiable from every meet to meet. So you can go and get a bag of 100,000 at the end of that cycle in 2017, and then 2018, you have to be able to show that you in fitness and you open up, but that credential is always going to be next to your name. So the most relevant credential is going to get paid top dollar. So that's how they do in those technical meetings too. So you could say, yeah, I'm Olympic champion from 16, but guess what? I'm world champion from 17, and we negotiating in 18. So then now there's a fight. Now you have that trump card to say, I'm more relevant. That means I should be faster, I should be sharper, I should be more ready to go.
Okay. So I hope our fans could understand that. Like, it's definitely a negotiation going from meet to meet. So I'm guessing the diamond leagues that are in the more richer countries, it's probably easier, like the Monaco, the Lausanne, you know what I mean? In those countries, it's probably easier to get that appearance fee outside of the smaller ones that probably be like, we're going to just let you get by on this one, man. We'll catch you next year.
You know what? It was, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I hear, that when Bolt was at his best, he was demanding $250,000 for each else's appearance just to show up. $250,000 just to show up. Not even to just race and finish the race. That was $250,000 just to show up.
Now I think they have him in an interview confirming that. I think even for one race, and if I'm wrong, I think it was Lausanne. He didn't get 250. He got 350.
It be like that.
But as you know, of being one of the top end of sports, that's why you don't have to run a lot of races. If your appearance fee is that much, because your appearance fee to the pot is dwarfing to the pot. You know what I mean? The pot might be 10 grand for the win. But so in your head, you could say, I'm going to donate all my winnings to charity. And you run 5 races, that's 50K. But then when you say, you would never say, I'm donating my whole appearance fee to charity.
No,
you'd be like,
you ain't doing that. That's not smart math right there.
So people get it, you know what I mean? And which is, I hope, to what Michael Johnson's saying, this kind of, his league will definitely balance that situation out.
Well, we'll see what happens. I think he said, in the next couple of weeks, he's gonna start unveiling a little more about his meet coming up. So hopefully it will definitely be something new, something revolutionary for our sport, and it's gonna be truly entertaining. So it's on you, Mike. Handle business, dog. Handle business.
Mike gonna come get you, boy.
What I do, bro? I didn't even do anything. I just said I agree with him 100% on what he thinks about the sport. I actually agree with him.
Hey man, what you think about? I know we on different topics now since we done with the beats, man. Hey, we got the Brits out here jaw-jacking, boy. Well, no, but they ain't jaw-jacking. We got one talking up, saying it with his chest. You know, our boy Matthew Hutchins-Smith calling out
Zarnell Hughes.
Zarnell Hughes, man. I think we need more of this in the sport. He actually is like, look, put your money where your mouth is, man. 300 battle. You run 19.7, I run 44.2. What's up? I think being that you just spoke about, Mike, I think they should do an exhibition race.
And I feel what distance though?
The 300.
300?
Do it
I don't think
exhibition.
That's hard, bro.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not.
250.
Yeah. But he gave the number. He said 300.
But that's a 400 meter guy challenging the 200 meter guy, and the 200 meter guy got to put an extra 100 onto it his races.
So watch this. Depending on what type of 200 meter runner he is, it's a real matchup. It can go. You're right. Distance wise, you're right. I've never seen nobody line up 250 because there's 50 more meters of what Zarnell does, and it's 150 meters less of what he does. You know what I mean? So he's like, percentage wise, I guess if you do it by percentage, the extra 100 meters and 100 off, 100 on, that mathematically makes sense. He adds an extra 100, I take off 100. Now, you go here. Matthew say he putting his money where his mouth is, right? Boom. We could get the shoe companies involved, right? Say Adidas is who Zarnell is with.
Yeah.
Puma is who
Matthew's with.
Matt is with.
Yeah.
Now we can make this event. We could get them in Crystal Palace, mark off 300. We get a few performers and let the race be the climaxing event. So basically a 2-hour event where you may have some kids run off, you may get a little performer, you may get almost like what Mike and Donovan Bailey did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that idea.
You see what I'm saying?
I like that though.
So it's an exhibition. It doesn't count for anything, for no points or world athletics. It's just for fun. People want to see that one-on-one matchup. If he says that and we say, okay, we're going to put that pot up, and then if we open up live betting, who you got? Man, I think that'd be fire. I think we get more people to watch the sport.
100%. Then you're going to get more people going to call other people out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not even going to be, it's not going to be 100% on some personal shit. It'll be straight on some, we both can make money off of this too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now look at this. You have that event and you do it like Vegas style, man. You know, where they face off, them and they can't sit at the table, talk about, oh yeah, you got this credential. Yeah, you might be the European record holder. And they're both European record holders in their own right.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he's the British record holder. And what's the name? The European record holder. Matthew Hutt.
Oh, Matthew Hutt.
He's the European record holder and is the Great Britain holder. And it's the battle for Great Britain soil. Who's the best athlete? Who gonna wear this crown? And Matt clearly is saying, it's me.
I mean, he feeling good, bro. He feeling good. So he's on some, what you want to do, Zarnell?
Man, I'm with it. That made, when I seen that, Matt know when I pull up on him again, I'm gonna ask him about it. I'll be like, hey, yo, did they sensationalize it or did you really say it like that? And Matt ain't one to back then. He'd be like, yeah, I said it like that. He'll say that. He'll say it.
You know him. He'll be like, and I'm waiting on the challenge too.
Yeah. He said, he ain't said nothing. I ain't seen him, he ain't say nothing. You know what I mean? So I think that definitely would be good for the sport. I like to see that, man. You know what I mean? And like they race at home. Man, Great Britain's definitely going to support that, man. They definitely did. They could get great sponsorship for it. They can make a great payday out of that.
Respectably, they still would be respected in their own events because the athletes 100%. And the competitors are going to look at it as the best 200 meter runner and the best 400 meter runner. win or lose, whoever wins, whoever loses, they're still going to separate, go back their own way. You still going to have the best 200-meter runner of Britain. And you're going to still have the best 400-meter runner of Britain. So it's like you said, it's an exhibition. It's a race that's just out of like goodwill, but also get these athletes paid. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to do it just for the free or for a little bit of money. You got to make it feel like they're going out there to go for a race. So if anything happens, you know what I'm saying, they get a little pull up with a little hamstring strain or something like that, it is actually the equivalent of them going and being in a real race. Let them get their money.
Yeah, man. Put them in lanes 4 and 5.
Let them go for it.
Let them rock. Let them go for it. Let them go. Let them flip a coin for who get 4 or 5. Like make a whole event about it, man. Man, maybe we should do that, man.
You gonna give them a call?
Get it.
I think I still got my international plan. Let me see if I'll call somebody real quick. Put it together.
Hey, we gonna have to get that money for them though, because we did a lot of that money talk. So we got to get the capital too.
Hey, something like that. Somebody stand up. We got that. We'll make it happen.
Oh yeah, especially if we do it in Great Britain. I'm pretty sure somebody will get behind it, man. You have everybody from the Great Britain come out to watch that. They'll do it. They'll do it. Like I said, you just probably got to have good entertainment for an hour and a half, the time it take them to warm up, to keep the crowd engaged until they ready to go.
That's easy, bro. You just put on a whole other like club meet. They have a whole bunch of club meets over there. Let the younger athletes run, do a club meet. It'd be like undercards. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, like boxing.
Yeah, like boxing, like undercards, and then the main event comes out. Everybody watches the main event, and then afterwards, everybody talking about it, and then they leave the stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, promoter want to do that, man. Y'all make sure we get our 10%. You know, we put it out there, bring that back. I'd love to get Mike or Donovan Bailey on the show, man, to talk about that event. You know, they both had great careers, but I really want to talk about that event that they put on. You know what I mean? Like, because you see it on YouTube, but there's a lot of ins and outs that we don't know about. So Donovan Bailey, Mike, you know what I mean?
I want the audience to know and go watch that race. Just type in Donovan Bailey, Michael Johnson 150, right? It should come up on YouTube. Watch that race. And the reason why I say watch that race is because I want you to not look at the athletes. I want you to look at the audience. It was packed in that stadium, like packed just for 2 athletes. I feel like the whole country of Canada showed up for this race. It was packed, bro. And that tells you right there that it's entertaining. People want to see something like that. So I think that's something we should bring back, Doug.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And the funny thing is like what was surrounding it, it's the same thing was surrounding Matthew Hood and Zarnell. It was after the 96 Olympics. Michael Johnson had 2 world records. He was saying he was the fastest man in the world. And then Donovan Bailey is like, how? If I have the world record and it's measured by the 100 meters, how can you be the fastest man in the world?
Did he have the world record then? I don't think he had. Did he have the world record then?
Yeah. Donovan Bailey broke the world record.
He broke the world record. He broke the
1996.
Olympic record too. All in one.
In the same race.
You're 100% right.
Same race.
Yeah.
So he was like, how is Mike saying, or I don't know if Mike said it, let me be correct, allegedly.
It was said.
People were giving it because Mike had 2 world records that he was the fastest man alive. And Donovan Bailey was, he was drawn back by that. He was like, how? How can that be? So they set it up. He was like, you know what? Well, since you run a 200, I run 100, man, I'll meet you on 150. But if I meet you on 150, you got to come to Canada. Now, I might be wrong on how this went down, but if you come on the show, you can tell us how it went down.
Yeah, that'd be entertaining.
But it'd be really entertaining. We need to hear that story, man, because I think that's so great for the sport and to bring it back. But definitely, y'all do what Justin said, man. Go ahead, look up that race, man, and watch how exciting it is. And I think that's probably a little bit what Mike's going to do with his new league. He's going to have maybe bracketeering, or, you know what I mean, a little bit of one-offs where he's going to set it off like that way. You can call out another person and that person can answer the call, but they're paid
so
for
kind of like 1v1s or three racers head up or something like that.
Yeah. And that wouldn't be a bad deal.
It wouldn't be a bad deal.
In his league.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why the Diamond League and other leagues are not really threatened by him, because if he's doing that, the Diamond Leagues and other things can still survive. So everybody can make money and it can thrive. It can thrive that way.
Absolutely.
So
I agree.
true.
I agree.
Mike, let us know, man. Like if you would definitely come on, Mike probably be like, man, we ain't coming on.
I ain't coming on your show, man.
But anyway,
Mike
but
mad at me, dog. Mike over there mad at me, man. Don't be mad at me, Mike.
Well,
I love you, dog. You're still my hero. For real, seriously. Donovan too, man. Donovan, you want to come on the show, man? We would love to have you on the show, man. Talk about it. And we know you just came out with a book as well. You're doing a lot of very strong entrepreneur stuff that I think that the world needs to know, one, and then two, athletes need to know, because athletes don't know how to be anything other than athletes sometimes, especially after they retire. So I think you would be able to drop some jewels for a lot of athletes who can be able to have a little bit of money in their pocket and try to figure out what they're going to do with it, how they can still grow and sustain themselves. Because a lot of these athletes are retiring at 30, and there's a big world in front of you after that.
Man, Donovan, let us know, man. We'll come to you to Canada too, man. And shoot, Justin's in Texas, Mike. but I think Mike lives in California. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think he's back and forth. But hey, we'll come to where y'all at. Y'all let us know if y'all want in person. We could do virtual, in person. It don't matter, man. We come to where y'all at. So just let y'all know. Y'all at them in the comments. Let's see what type of
MJ Gold.
What's that? Yeah,
MJ Gold.
That's him.
I told you I'm a fan.
Mike gonna be like, he ain't no fan, man. He out there egging at me. Nah, man, but definitely, man, we'll come to where you guys are at, man. We want to pick your brains and, talk about some things. So, man, I don't know, man. You have anything else, bro?
I think we good, man. So while y'all out there, checking on YouTube, watching that race between Donovan and Mike, y'all go ahead and tell your friends, tell your family members, go ahead and subscribe to Ready, Set, Go. You know what I'm saying? Watch some other episodes we have in the past and stay tuned for the next episodes that we have coming up, because we're trying to get to that 10,000 mark. You know what I mean? So we appreciate y'all. Like I said, this is for y'all, man. We love telling the meets that are coming up and the play-by-plays, but we also love bringing stories to y'all because we think that's definitely needed for our sport, man. So we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And with that being said, ready, set,
go.